You still think power announces itself. You believe that if someone is dangerous, you will sense it early. You believe betrayal comes with warning signs, a shift in tone, a raised voice, a visible threat. It doesn't. The most effective forms of control never feel aggressive. They feel reasonable. They feel calm. They feel cooperative. The people shaping outcomes around you are rarely the loudest. They do not rush. They do not explain themselves. They do not need to win arguments. They let you speak. They let you clarify. They let you volunteer information you never should have given. By the time you feel pressure, the decision has already been made. This is not paranoia. It is pattern recognition. This is not about becoming ruthless. It is about refusing to live like prey inside systems that quietly reward calculation over innocence. Machiavelli was not teaching cruelty. He was describing reality. A world where appearances are polite, where intentions are hidden, and where power prefers to move unnoticed. Most people are not honest. They are strategic and polite at the same time. Power rarely argues. It observes. The person speaking the least is often deciding the most. If you do not understand this, you negotiate from weakness without realizing it. Machiavelli understood something most people still resist. Control is not seized, it is allowed, and it begins long before confrontation ever appears. The law of delayed alignment. Be careful with people who agree with you too quickly. Immediate alignment feels reassuring. It feels validating. It feels like trust. It often isn't. Instant agreement is usually reconnaissance. When someone mirrors your opinions without friction, they are not bonding. They are mapping you. They are learning how you think, how rigid you are, where you bend, what you need affirmed. True alignment develops slowly. It survives disagreement. The simplest way to reveal intent is to introduce a minor variation, a small disagreement, a detail that disrupts harmony without creating conflict. Those who are genuine will hold their position. They may disagree calmly. They may clarify. Those who are calculating will adjust immediately. They will reshape themselves to stay agreeable. Delayed alignment signals independence. Rushed agreement signals positioning. Power watches how quickly someone abandons their own ground. Consider how this plays out in negotiations. Someone enters a meeting and agrees with every proposal you make. Your instinct says this person is cooperative. Your intellect should say, this person is gathering data. They are learning your priorities, your constraints, your pressure points. By the end of the conversation, they know exactly where you will bend. You know nothing about them. This is not cooperation. It is extraction disguised as harmony. The law of voluntary exposure. Power rarely forces information out of you. It waits. Most people give away leverage without being asked. They explain their motivations. They justify their decisions. They overshare their fears, plans, and uncertainties. They mistake transparency for trust. Oversharing is not honesty. It is unguarded positioning. Every unnecessary detail creates a psychological handle. Answer questions cleanly, not completely. Precision protects you. Excess exposes you. Silence creates asymmetry. It forces the other person to fill space, to reveal curiosity, to show intent. The person who knows less is harder to corner, harder to pressure, harder to predict. Machiavelli understood that information, once given, cannot be retrieved. It only changes hands. Watch how often you explain yourself when no explanation was requested. Watch how often you fill silence with unnecessary detail. Watch how often you justify decisions that were already accepted. Each time you do this, you are handing someone a map of your internal logic. They now know how to navigate you, how to predict you, how to pressure you in ways that feel reasonable because they match your own stated values. The person who asks questions controls the frame. The person who answers them volunteers their position. There is a reason intelligence agencies train operatives to resist interrogation. It is not because questions are violent. It is because answers are expensive. The law of invisible testing. Disrespect rarely begins loudly. It begins small. A delayed response, a subtle dismissal, a boundary crossed casually as if it meant nothing. These are not accidents, they are probes. Invisible tests are designed to measure tolerance, how much you accept, how much you excuse, how much you rationalize. Most people fail because they either overreact or say nothing. Both responses signal weakness. The correct response is brief, calm, firm. You correct once, without emotion, without explanation. If the behavior repeats, the intent is confirmed. Those who pass the test are left alone. Those who fail become targets. Power respects clarity, not aggression. This pattern appears everywhere. A colleague takes credit for your work in a minor meeting. A friend cancels plans at the last minute without apology. Someone interrupts you mid-sentence, then does it again. These moments feel too small to address. That is the point. The test is whether you will tolerate small violations, because small violations left uncorrected become permission for larger ones. The person testing you is not always conscious of what they are doing, but the dynamic remains the same. Your tolerance is being calibrated. If you ignore the first test, the second one will be worse. If you overreact, you will be labeled as difficult or unstable. The correct response is proportional, direct, unemotional. You simply name what happened and reestablish the boundary. No anger, no justification, just clarity. The law of emotional cost transfer. Every interaction has an emotional cost. Someone pays it. If you feel anxious while the other person feels relaxed, the balance is wrong. Manipulation works by shifting discomfort onto you. Urgency, guilt, pressure, confusion. The manipulator stays calm while you scramble. Stop rushing to resolve tension. Silence redistributes pressure. When you do not rush to soothe discomfort, the cost transfers back. Whoever can sit calmly inside uncertainty controls the interaction. Machiavelli understood that emotional control precedes strategic control. The calmer person sets the tempo, and tempo decides outcomes. Notice how some people create urgency around decisions that do not require it. They need an answer now. They frame delay as disrespect or indecision. This is cost transfer. They are uncomfortable with uncertainty, so they pressure you into resolving it for them. The moment you rush to answer, you have accepted the cost. You are now operating on their timeline, under their frame, with their priorities shaping your decision. The alternative is simple. Slow down. Do not match their urgency. Respond to pressure with calm. Let silence sit. Let them experience the discomfort they are trying to transfer. You will notice something interesting. The people who respect you will adjust. They will give you space. The people who were testing you will escalate. They will increase pressure. They will try to make you feel guilty for not rushing. That escalation tells you everything you need to know. The law of narrative ownership. If you do not define the story, someone else will. Reputation is not what you say about yourself. It is what circulates when you are not present. Over-explaining weakens narrative control. Defending yourself signals instability. Consistency writes narratives better than persuasion. People trust patterns more than promises. Those who move quietly, predictably, and without justification create the strongest reputations. They do not argue their image. They allow others to arrive at conclusions on their own. Machiavelli knew that power prefers to be inferred, not declared. Your reputation is built in two places: what you do when people are watching, and what people say about you when you are not there. Most people focus on the first and ignore the second. They perform competence. They broadcast achievement. They explain their decisions in detail, trying to control perception through volume. This backfires. Over-explanation signals insecurity. It tells people you are worried about how you are perceived. That worry becomes part of your reputation. The better approach is behavioral consistency. Do what you say you will do. Deliver without fanfare. Correct mistakes quietly. Build patterns that speak for themselves. When someone questions your competence, your response is not a defense. It is a calm reference to the pattern. Your work speaks. Your history speaks. You do not need to. The law of strategic absence. Constant availability reduces perceived value. Presence creates familiarity. Absence creates gravity. Most people disappear when conflict arises. That signals avoidance. The strategic withdrawal happens during comfort, when things feel stable, when attention is high, when access feels guaranteed. That absence recalibrates value. People only measure impact once it is missing. Machiavelli understood that scarcity intensifies influence without confrontation. This is not about playing games with people who matter. It is about recognizing that attention is finite and presence dilutes over time. When you are always available, people stop valuing access. They stop considering your time as limited. They assume you will always be there. This assumption shapes how they treat you. Strategic absence is a recalibration tool. It reminds people that your time is not infinite, that your attention is a resource, that access is earned, not assumed. You do not disappear during conflict. That is avoidance. You step back during stability, when everything is fine, when people feel comfortable. That is when absence has meaning. It creates space for people to notice what they took for granted. The law of non-reaction. Emotion reveals leverage points. The more expressive you are under pressure, the more readable you become. Calm is not weakness, it is concealment. Lower your voice when stakes rise. Reduce expression as tension increases. Pause before responding. The unreadable person dictates tempo. The predictable person gets managed. Power does not need to react. It lets others expose themselves first. Every emotional reaction gives information. Anger reveals what threatens you. Anxiety reveals what you fear losing. Excitement reveals what you want. Defensiveness reveals what you are protecting. The more you react, the more data you provide. The more data you provide, the easier you are to manage. This does not mean suppressing emotion. It means controlling when and how you express it. In high-stakes moments, your face should reveal less than your words. Your words should reveal less than your actions. Let other people react. Let them show frustration, desperation, eagerness. Each reaction tells you what matters to them, what they want, what they fear. You gain information while giving none. The law of mirrored energy. Do not give more energy to a relationship than it returns. Effort should flow both directions. When you consistently invest more than you receive, you are not being generous. You are training someone to undervalue you. This law applies to professional relationships, friendships, and negotiations. If you always initiate contact, you are signaling that the relationship matters more to you than to them. If you always accommodate their schedule, you are signaling that your time is less valuable. If you always follow up, you are signaling that outcomes matter more to you than to them. These signals accumulate. They shape how you are treated. The correction is simple but uncomfortable. Match energy. If someone takes 3 days to respond, you take 3 days. If someone cancels plans twice, you stop initiating. If someone contributes minimal effort, you mirror it. This feels cold. It feels calculated. It is neither. It is simply refusing to subsidize disinterest with your own effort. What you will notice is that some relationships equalize. The other person starts investing more because they realize the imbalance. Other relationships dissolve. That information is valuable. You learn who valued the relationship and who valued what you provided. The law of calm correction. Never correct someone while emotional. Emotion tells them they have leverage. Calm correction tells them the boundary is non-negotiable. When someone crosses a line, your instinct is to react immediately, to express frustration, to explain why their behavior is unacceptable. This instinct is counterproductive. Emotional correction signals that you are affected, that the violation mattered enough to destabilize you. The other person registers this. Even if they apologize, they have learned something. They have learned that this boundary is emotionally charged. That means it can be used as leverage later. Calm correction is different. You address the behavior without urgency, without visible frustration. You state the boundary clearly. You describe the consequence if it happens again. Then you move on. No explanation, no emotional weight, just information. This sends a different message. It says the boundary exists independent of your emotions. It is structural, not personal. Violating it has predictable consequences. This is far more powerful than anger. The law of selective transparency. Share your methods after success, never before. Announce plans only when their failure will not weaken you. People love to share their goals. They announce projects before they begin. They describe their strategies in detail. They do this because it feels like accountability, like commitment. It is neither. It is premature exposure. Every plan you share before execution creates 3 risks. First, you invite skepticism that can undermine confidence. Second, you invite interference from people who think they know better. Third, you set public expectations that you may not meet. The alternative is simple. Execute first, announce after. Share the method once the result is visible. This approach has 2 advantages. First, success validates the method. People cannot argue with what already worked. Second, you avoid defending your approach before it has proven itself. Your results become the argument. This is not secrecy, it is strategic timing. Moral clarity without naivete. Good intentions do not protect you, they only make you visible. Ethics without strategy are fragile. Strategy without ethics becomes abuse. Machiavelli did not argue for cruelty. He warned against innocence without awareness. Awareness comes first. Morality follows once you are no longer exposed. This is not about domination. It is about refusing exploitation. You cannot choose how others play. You can choose whether you see the game. There is a false choice presented in most discussions of power. You can either be good or effective, ethical or strategic, trusting or protected. This is nonsense. The most effective people are not sociopaths. They are simply people who understand context. They know when to trust and when to verify, when to collaborate and when to protect, when to be transparent and when to be opaque. The goal is not to become manipulative. It is to stop being an easy target, to recognize the patterns that others use, to protect yourself without becoming what you are protecting against. This requires moral clarity. You must know what you stand for, what you will not compromise, what lines you will not cross. That clarity becomes your foundation. Strategy is simply the method by which you protect that foundation from people who do not share your values. The final alignment. You now see what most people miss. Power does not shout, it waits. Apply one pattern, just one. Slow down where you used to rush. Say less where you used to explain. Hold still where you used to react. Watch who becomes uncomfortable. Watch who loses leverage. Watch who only respected you when you were predictable. That discomfort is information. You are not becoming darker. You are becoming harder to manipulate. And once you see the game, you cannot unsee it. The people around you will respond in one of 3 ways. Some will respect the shift. They will notice you are harder to read, harder to pressure, harder to take for granted. These people will treat you better. They will stop testing boundaries because the tests stop working. Your relationships with these people will improve. Others will become frustrated. They will accuse you of changing, of becoming distant or calculating. They will pressure you to return to old patterns, to be more available, more accommodating, more predictable. This frustration is information. These are the people who benefited from your old patterns, who relied on your predictability to manage you. You have stopped subsidizing their comfort with your compliance. Their frustration confirms you are doing something right. A third group will disappear. They will stop reaching out, stop initiating, stop investing. This is also information. These relationships only existed because you were doing all the work. You were the one initiating, the one accommodating, the one maintaining the connection. When you stopped, the relationship stopped. That tells you it was never mutual. All 3 responses are valuable. They reveal who respects you, who was using you, and who was simply along for the ride. This clarity is uncomfortable, but clarity always is. It forces you to see relationships as they are, not as you hoped they would be. That sight is the beginning of power. Not power over others, power over yourself. The power to choose who gets your time, your energy, your trust. Stay aware. If this perspective resonates with you, if you found value in understanding these patterns, subscribe to this channel. There is more to explore, more patterns to recognize, more clarity to gain. The game does not end, but your awareness of it can sharpen, and that awareness is the only real protection you have. Subscribe, and let us continue seeing what others miss.